Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are putting two Naughty Dog giants head to head. The Last of Us Part 1, the 2022 remake, versus Uncharted 4, A Thief's End. Both are PlayStation legends, both are story-driven, both look insanely good, but they give completely different experiences. One is a dark, emotional survival journey, the other is a high-energy treasure hunting adventure. In this video, we'll compare story, gameplay, graphics, characters, and in the end, help you decide which game is better for you, depending on your taste and mood. Stick till the end, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy this breakdown. Let's start with the story, because that's where Naughty Dog flexes the most. The Last of Us Part 1 puts you in the shoes of Joel, a broken man who has survived a fungal apocalypse for 20 years, and Ellie, a teenage girl who might be the key to humanity's survival. It's a road trip across a ruined America, but emotionally it's so much more. It's about grief, hope, and the bond that slowly forms between these two characters. Uncharted 4 is very different in tone. Nathan Drake has retired from treasure hunting and is living a normal life until his long-lost brother Sam shows up and pulls him back into one lost adventure to find pirate treasure. The tone is lighter, fun, and adventurous, with witty dialogue and banter, but it still has serious themes about obsession, family, and the cost of chasing your dreams. So if you want something heavy, emotional, and morally complex, The Last of Us hits harder. If you want something cinematic, adventurous, that feels like playing a blockbuster movie, Uncharted 4 is your pick. Now, let's talk gameplay, because this is where the two games really separate. The Last of Us Part 1 is built around survival and tension. Ammo is limited, resources are scarce, and every encounter feels dangerous. You're constantly scavenging for supplies, crafting items like Molotovs, medkits, and shivs, and deciding whether to sneak past enemies or risk a loud firefight. The remake improves enemy AI, so human enemies and infected react more intelligently to your movements and noise. Moment to moment, the combat feels grounded and brutal. Stealth is heavily encouraged. Listening mode to track enemies through walls, crouch walking, choking out enemies, and setting traps. One wrong move and you can get overwhelmed quickly, especially on higher difficulties. That constant sense of pressure fits the world perfectly. Uncharted 4, on the other hand, is all about flow and momentum. You've got third-person shooting, smooth cover mechanics, melee takedowns, and the amazing grappling hook that lets you swing across gaps and dive onto enemies like an action hero. The game encourages you to move around the battlefield, flank, and combine stealth with loud gunfights. The level design is more open than older Uncharted games, giving you multiple paths: sneak through tall grass for stealth, or go full chaos with grenades, rifles, and explosive barrels. It's less about survival and more about feeling like a skilled, charismatic adventurer. So, if you enjoy slow, tense, methodical gameplay where every bullet matters, go for The Last of Us. If you prefer fast, fluid, set-piece heavy action with lots of movement and freedom, Uncharted 4 delivers that. Both of these games are visual showcases, but in slightly different ways. The Last of Us Part 1 on PS5 isn't just a simple remaster. It's a full remake with rebuilt character models, lighting, and environments. Faces are more detailed, animations are smoother, and subtle expressions give cutscenes a more realistic and emotional punch. The world looks more dense and believable, with overgrown cities, ruined suburbs, and dark interiors full of detail. Performance modes let you choose between higher resolution and higher frame rate, and overall it feels like a modern, current-gen title in terms of visuals and polish. The darker, more grounded art direction focuses on realism and atmosphere rather than bright colors.
Uncharted 4 came out on PS4 but still looks incredible today. The art direction leans into vibrant, cinematic visuals, tropical islands, old pirate ruins, muddy jeep sequences, stormy seas, and beautiful vistas. Even though it's technically older, its use of lighting, animation, and composition makes many scenes look like a movie. Where The Last of Us tries to immerse you in a harsh, believable apocalypse, Uncharted 4 wants to wow you with spectacle and variety. Both succeed at what they're aiming for. One is grim and realistic, the other is colorful and grand.
Pacing is another area where these games feel very different. The Last of Us Part 1 is fairly linear, but levels are designed with small hubs and side areas where you can explore for loot, collectibles, and environmental storytelling. You'll move through a loop of tension, combat, exploration, and emotional cutscenes. There are quiet moments with dialogue and optional conversations that give you time to breathe after stressful encounters. The pacing is slower on purpose. It wants you to feel the weight of every area you pass through, from abandoned towns to quarantine zones to wilderness. That slower, more deliberate rhythm makes the emotional beats land harder. Uncharted 4, meanwhile, mixes things up with more variety and level structure. You've got linear story missions, semi-open exploration sections like Madagascar, puzzle rooms, and huge set pieces where everything is collapsing around you. Vehicle sections with the Jeep and boat also break up the usual shooting and climbing. The game deliberately steps away from non-stop action that earlier Uncharted games were known for, and adds longer, quieter stretches focused on exploration, character dialogue, and light puzzles. This makes the big action sequences feel more special when they do happen. If you like a heavy, consistent, story-driven pace with tension always in the background, The Last of Us is for you. If you enjoy a roller coaster of quieter moments plus big set pieces and variety in how levels are structured, Uncharted 4 nails that balance. Naughty Dog's strongest weapon is characters, and both games prove it. In The Last of Us Part 1, Joel and Ellie carry the entire game. Joel's trauma from the early outbreak and Ellie's mix of innocence, curiosity, and hidden darkness make their interactions powerful. Over the journey, you see their bond forming through small conversations, jokes, arguments, and heartbreaking moments. The remake enhances this with improved facial animations and more nuanced performances. Side characters like Tess, Bill, Henry, and others also leave a strong impression even with limited screen time, and their fates reinforce the brutality of this world. Many players come away from The Last of Us thinking about its ending for days. Uncharted 4 focuses more on relationships from Nathan Drake's past, Sam, Elena, and Sully. Sam's reappearance forces Nate to question his priorities, and his marriage with Elena is a key emotional thread, showing the tension between a settled life and the desire for adventure. The writing gives Elena more depth and agency than ever before, and the dynamic between Nate and Sam is full of nostalgia, guilt, and brotherly banter. It's not as dark as The Last of Us, but it still hits emotionally, especially in the quieter scenes near the end. If you want a story that punches you in the gut and makes you question the character's choices, The Last of Us does that. If you want a more hopeful, reflective look at growing up, moving on, and valuing relationships, Uncharted 4's character arcs deliver that. So, which game should you play or replay right now? Honestly, if you have the chance, play both. They're among the best narrative-driven games ever made, but they scratch very different itches. One is emotional survival, the other is joyful adventure. Alright, that's it for The Last of Us Part 1 versus Uncharted 4. Tell in the comments, which one do you prefer and why? Are you more on Team Joel and Ellie or Team Nathan Drake and Sam? Also, would you like to see a similar breakdown for The Last of Us Part 2 or the Uncharted Lost Legacy? If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and share it with your gamer friends. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.